behind the secrets behind the female muscle on the female bodybuilding, featuring Zimmerman. And we were supposed to have a guest today. There were some technical issues, but that's going to be fine. Zimmerman, quickly, we are to an important week for you. We are into the Omaha Pro, where this episode will be out probably the day before of the Omaha. Talk to us a little bit about Menal, who's one of the favorites to win this show.
Yeah, Menal is getting better by the day right now. She still have, I would say, a long way to go, but within the next days, I'm pretty confident she will do a good turnaround as she's getting better every day. Weight is dropping every day, and she has always kind of these issues going into the show, getting like really crisp, this tight conditioning. But her advantage is her size, her overall shape. So I'm pretty confident we bring a very, very good package compared to her last showing in Romania. So this will be good. Like,
what is she doing right now? Have you started with any diuretics, or is it too early or too late, or what is it? Today's Tuesday. The show is on Saturday. Have you started with some diuretics?
No.
No. Have you started with the carb load?
No, I don't think she needs much of carbs, because I would rather have her on the flat side but conditioned, and not to get into any risk of spilling over or anything. So she has very round muscle bellies, and she doesn't look so flat at all, even if on very high cardio and very low carbs. But for her, it's needed. So as always, every athlete is individual, and for her, it's just needed to go very hard, like very low, and very hard cardio and everything.
We are going into an episode that's extremely important right now, and this is about fake primobolan, or the lack of primobolan, or the usage of primobolan in these times. Zimmerman, we're gonna have the head title later. We'll figure out what the title is going to be, but this episode is gonna be about primobolan. And first of all, we can go back in time, and a lot of the girls, almost all the gear plans we're seeing for prep, maybe not for off-season, but definitely for prep, the last 2-3 years for women, the main injectable use that we see the most from classes from figure, wellness, women's bodybuilding, and women's physique is at the moment, the last 3 years, primobolan. Why did primobolan became so popular, in your opinion, for girls to use for prep purposes?
Yeah, like you said, because like 10 years ago, nobody really noticed anything or said anything about primobolan. But within the last 3, let's say 5 years, every coach recommends it. Every discussion somehow ends up coming back to Primo, as it's the primobolan built a reputation, I think, that became larger than the actual compound itself, because athletes started seeing women getting lean, staying relatively lean during off season, building quality muscles. Then coaches starting recommending it, athletes start talking about it more and more. But as always, the reputation spreads much faster than context and other things like genetics and the actual work which needs to put in.
So why do you think so many women are using Primo for prep?
Yeah, I think female bodybuilding is always like a balancing act. Like every athlete wants more muscle, but nobody wants like this permanent virilization. And however, Primo came up that it doesn't virilize so much. And I think that's where Primo earned its popularity. So for many years, coaches viewed it as a better compromise between like muscle gain and side effect compared to other alternatives. It appears more manageable. But one thing I've noticed also now over the last years is that many athletes hear the phrase like mild compound and mentally translate it to safe compound. And this is not the same thing. In figure, women's physique, bodybuilding, you see always athletes react completely different to identical protocols. One athlete develops side effect quicker than others. That's while another athlete is like can tolerate much higher exposure. Genetics matter.
So here we come into the thing. So usually a man would run for a prep, it all depends, but anywhere from 400 to a 1200 Primo per week, would we say probably is around average for a prep. How much is it's hard to say an average, but what do you see women use a Primo for a prep if that's their main injectable source? Milligrams per week, that is.
Everything from 100 to 500, but that's absolutely over the top. So let's say anything from 100 to 300 is realistic, as you have it as the main injectable, and then it's already pretty much plenty.
And
if you
is
have
this
real.
usually, we have Primo in fast acting, slow, we have some in slow acting, I believe, and we also have pills. Is this correct?
Yeah, we had pills, but these are even it's primo acetate, I think.
Impossible to get those.
But exactly, it's like injectable Superdrol. It's very hard to get.
So
So
here comes the big issue right now. Right now, Rafael, the European market and the American market have no longer real primo into play.
yeah,
If you want to say it like that, the primo that is currently out. So this is very important for women because we've talking to the steroid dealers and some manufacturers, and the primo, we would say probably around 20% of the primo that's out there now is correctly dosed and is primo, Zimmerman. So what happened? Where have all the primo gone? I heard there was an epidemic in China for a year ago that stopped the primo, but there's a lot of reasons. Can you go into why do we seldom see, when I say real primo, meaning that it's correctly dosed, real 100% primo when you buy the bottle? What's
yeah.
been going on lately?
Yeah, they see always the finished vial, and they don't see the part of the industry because it's a business. It's anything else. They never see the manufacturing chain behind all this stuff. For years, a huge percentage of this raw steroid powder came from these Chinese manufacturers.
Yes.
And when these regulations tightened, the inspections increased, some facilities were shut down. So the entire market felt it. And suddenly this product, this raw powder, became just harder to source. And
Okay.
there where it started, like the prices increased and supply chains become less predictable. So what many athletes don't realize is that shortages don't start when a dealer like runs out of stock. The shortage starts probably way earlier, like months or years earlier, and we just feel it now. They begin when the raw materials are difficult to obtain, and that created, I think, the perfect storm or demand for primo bowling continued.
And just so people are getting probably stressed now, is that even their own steroid dealer usually don't make their own primo. They get it from someone, meaning them themselves really don't even know what's in the
Don't know
bottle. Is this
what's in
correct?
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then the only option is to test it, right? But there you go with like
So we go
we all
back a little
know.
bit to the business part. So you say it's a business. I
Yes,
heard that Primo is the most expensive compound to produce. Is this correct?
yes.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
expensive. It's I think Anavar and Primo is the most expensive, and
Mhm.
the availability is inconsistent. The manufacturing costs are higher. Meanwhile, athletes are also willing to pay more, of course. So it's kind of a premium steroid because everybody's been told this is the gold standard or whatever you want to call it.
So you're saying around 25, 75% of the Primo is either fake or underdosed, meaning when we say underdosed, for us, it's actually fake then, because it's not what you pay. It's not the
Yeah,
dose.
because when you go like doing 100 milligrams and it's only 20 in there, you cannot predict what's happened. But back to the business part, it's like whenever that happens in any industry, I think that everything falls apart. And then here's like this is now the uncomfortable truth that even like you said, the people who's selling it, the product may not know exactly what's in it. So batches change. You can have a batch where it's just real, and this is why
So
this
if it's then
laboratory
fake,
testing matters.
Zimmerman, or underdosed, what usually will we see that it is? So either it's a percentage of low, like anywhere from 20% to 30% or 50% primo. But if it's not primo, then what usually do you see when people are testing their gear? What usually comes out at the primo? I heard is testosterone propionate is the most common
Propionate
thing.
a lot, yeah. Something also mixed with NPP. Why I don't know. But it's a lot of like back in the day it was also EQ a lot,
Okay.
which is not that bad because at least it's not test. Because what happens if a woman takes test instead of primo all of a sudden?
So let's go into that. So a lot of the primo are then fake, and it's a lot of times it testosterone propionate. Can you explain a little bit then what happens if a female is taking 300 or 200 primo and it's really 200 to 300 testosterone propionate. Can you explain some of the side effects that may occur, or what would happen if you are thinking something is PRIMO 200 to 300 and then you're actually injecting 200 to 300 testosterone propionate for a woman?
Yeah, first it's probably like the strength increases, body weight goes up, training performance improves. Maybe everything looks great at first, and then the side effects begins, like more water retention, acne.
How long would that take usually when you say the side effects will begin? Let's say you are on a prep, you start with this, let's say 16 weeks out, and then when can they start looking for some, if there's some water retention, as you say?
Within the first like 10 to 14 days, I would say.
Okay.
Already, because it's a short acting Easter, and yeah, then
because PRIMO doesn't make you it's not a very compound that makes you that strong in the gym, PRIMO.
Normally not, no. I mean, you notice, of course, something, especially as a woman, because you feel everything more than a man. But this like facial hair increase, menstrual cycle stops completely,
but the menstrual cycle stops, but the girls are losing their period anyway on prep though, usually when they're injected.
Usually yes, but not like, yes, sometimes it changes, sometimes it stops completely. But this isn't the worst thing, I think.
Okay, no.
The biggest problem is like what everyone is scared of, voice changes, but then you cannot take PRIMO then. So everybody's blaming PRIMO, but you actually don't take PRIMO. So that's why I always say, like, do you test your shit? Like, is it real PRIMO? If not, then you need to think about it.
So you go back to what's happening. So people now notice that about 25% of the PRIMO that's out there is real. So girls, that's very important to understand, because that's how chances you are that you're not having real PRIMO. So if you take testosterone propionate, you're saying more side effects will come. So the smart thing to do, and an absolute thing to do, if you're going to run PRIMO, obviously, Zimmerman, is you have to test.
Yes, absolutely.
And
like you said, what happens if we can say it like this, when you on an HRT for a woman, what is it, like
9 milligrams or whatever,
6 milligrams or whatever,
yeah,
and then you all of a sudden take 10 times of it, like the 10th amount of it, you can already imagine what happens then in your body. This is just also a lot of stress you put into your body with only one compound, thinking you're running PRIMO.
So this means, ladies, you have to, into 2026, there's no way around it. If you want to know what you're taking when it comes to PRIMO, not necessarily EQ and MPP, because that's a cheaper compound to make, and there's a lot of it. But PRIMO, you have to check if you're worried about side effects, and even that you're even using PRIMO. But Zimmerman, to test it, meaning if you are going for prep, then Zimmerman, you would probably know what you're running weeks in advance. So you have to plan this, because you have to test it whatever you're buying, you have to spend some time planning and test and sending in before you start using it, correct?
Exactly, yes. But that's also because you're off anyway before you start prep.
Not everyone, sadly.
Not everyone, sadly, but normally you have like at least 8 to 12 weeks off, where you have time to get your shit, where you have time to get your test kits, where you have time to test it. And if it's fake, you have time to get another option, source, whatever, or discuss it with your coach. Hey, this happens. I don't get real PRIMO. So what we going to do? Because there's no way, if you have fake PRIMO and it's like test, there's no way, okay, then we're using test. I hope so. No coach is saying that.
Where can you test it? We're going to put some links up, but there's either an easier way, maybe not as good, that's to get a testing kit, correct?
Yeah, I think you need like 0.5 milliliter or so to send it in. And then there are some blind tests where you just get the info what's in there, and then it's a bit more expensive, where you get the exact dosage of.
So we were into the episode, and we are on to the testing that you can test the PRIMO. Is this something you recommend right now, Hafiz, in these times with so much fake PRIMO, do you recommend that girls test their PRIMO?
First of all, I recommend to everybody check twice before they doing something. But you need to understand the problem is not about Primo not exist now. The problem, you will not have it in the future also.
Yeah.
No more Primo. No more Primo.
Can you
no matter what you're buying, no matter what you're buying, if they write Primo, you need to understand it's not Primo.
How do you?
No more Primo.
We have explained, Hafiz, before we came. We said probably 20% of the Primo that's out there is real only. Why is this? We have our opinions, but what's you saying it's not going to come in the future? Can you explain what's going on?
I spoke with a lot of Chinese people. I work with Chinese also, and they have their fabrics, and they just said no more Primo, no more. You can buy everything. You can buy testosterone, Baldanone. You can find another thing, but no more Primo for selling.
Because it's not worth it for them, right?
No matter what.
It's not worth it. Huh?
Again, Rafael?
It's not worth it for them because it's too expensive for them, and it's difficult to make.
First of all, it's too expensive, and another thing, they just not have. I don't know. Maybe they have some technology to make it, but they didn't want to work with this anymore. They not have
it. That's what I mean when I say it's really hard to produce also. So there are two factors for the dealers. Like, it's very expensive, plus it's a lot of work, probably more work than.
And like we see, we have now politics problem between China and US and Europe, and I think also that another way that political, they didn't want to sell some steroids powders to another countries. It's also meaning, it sounds like a theory, and everything, but it's real, brother. They didn't want to sell much more. And quality of the powders also become not such a well like it was 10 years before.
So let me expand both of you then. Both can have their own opinion. We can start with you, Zimmerman. So we come to the conclusion there's almost no real Primo. And let's say a girl uses anywhere from 100 to 300 Primo for a prep injectable. Everyone is different, but let's just say, what are one of the compounds you would change out Primo with, Zimmerman? And let's say you're using 200 to 300 Primo. Would you have to go lower with those other things, or what would you use? And you can start with you, Zimmerman, first, and then we can ask Hafiz. For you, Zimmerman, what would you change it with?
Sorry, I got a call. Wait. So what to use instead?
Yes. And do you have to lower the doses if you're using 200 to 300 Primo?
No, let's say you're doing like 30 milligram every other day, which makes it like 100 milligram of a week or less or more.
No. The girls are using way more than 100 milligrams of Primo, Zimmerman.
No, I didn't heard the last part. So okay, whatever. The dose, what you did with Primo, I would say you can.
No, first, what can we change it with?
EQ. Boldenone, equipoise, yes. If you don't have, which a lot of women don't have, higher hematocrit, high blood pressure, they're not dealing with these issues normally. So it's a very good option for female, in my opinion. Yes.
That's Boldenone, yeah?
Yes.
Would you get the same result if you're using, let's just example, 300 of Primo? Would you have to do less than 300 of EQ, or would you have to do the same?
I would just do the same, because it depends, of course, because these EQ, another option would be NPP, are more like causing these mental side effects where you need to take care of. And of course, if you notice anything of this, like, then you need to lower it, which you normally don't get from Primo. But I also had athletes which are not feeling well on Primo, so it all depends. But normally I would say EQ, Primo, you can replace. NPP, I would go lower.
Okay.
Because
what about you, Hafiz?
It's like a man dosage.
About me, I will try to explain it also like Rafael said, first of all, trying to replace something with replace another, it's not sounds for me logical, because, it's like trying to bring something else, but you want to get these effects like a Primo.
Okay.
Primo, it's very, very, very good anabolic steroids and very, safety to use. So if you're trying to use another shit for Primo, not the Primo. Close to the Primo, I will run some Masteron Propionate.
Okay.
It's close.
But is that
But
available?
also gas side effect.
Is that
Much bigger side
but
effect.
Hafiz, is Masteron P? It's more available than Primo, correct?
Yeah, more available.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's like you trying to be like Michael Jackson, but you want to be Prince, but you're using Prince.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Okay.
It's never gonna be same.
Okay.
But in off season, like said Rafael before it, I will prefer again with all the blood pressure and all of the other stuff, hematocrit high and everything. If everything is well, we will running Boldon on.
Yeah. Okay.
Close to competition. If we not have Prima, we will use it Masteron Propionate.
Okay. So that's your okay. Yeah. If you can't If you can't get Masteron Propionate for prep, what would be your second option?
I'm not gonna prep if I not have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that crucial? Can't you do Masteron Enitate then?
You can use it much worse things, Trembolone, Stanozolol, and another stuff. Again, you can, if you take the 70s, you remember the classic anabolic stuff. It was Deca, testosterone, and everything like that. But if you look at athletes, these eras, 70s, 80s, they never get same quality like people now. You can see it, girl now with amazing glutes, with amazing abs, amazing fucking legs, like a Tom Platz. In 70s, 80s, you never saw girls with legs like a Tom Platz. Now each other girls have legs like a Tom Platz. You're not shocked when you saw it. No. So what does it mean? It means like also the anabolics, the steroids, they become much aggressive, much stronger than it was in the past. Yeah. And if you want to bring, again, if we're talking about professional competition, you need everything. You need fucking everything. It's mean everything.
To have on hand. Yes.
You need everything to get there. But again, if we're talking about some amateur athlete who want to prepare to compete first time, anytime, you can run one stuff, oxandrolone or something like that to get there looking good, shape good. But if we're talking about heights level, Olympian level, you need everything. It's like you preparing for war. You need everything. You need rackets, you need atomics, you need everything possible.
When you say everything, are we talking about like training acetate at the end and things like this also?
Yeah, of course. Acetate, it's very hard. We also have, I forgot this name about this stuff that was, you remember this shit that 20 times harder than trend. Meta something like that.
Parabolin?
No, parabolin is like a long
trend,
but we have another. What?
No, the parabolin is Trenhex, actually.
Yeah.
You mean
but
like,
I'm talking about
do you mean Halo? You mean Halo or Superdrol?
I forgot the name. It was named something Manta.
Methyltren.
Yeah. Maybe this.
This is the craziest shit on earth. But what I wanted to say with the Masteron, what AJ said, like, I think you cannot run Masteron and Enphate for 16 weeks because you start like at 16 weeks with Primo and then switch over to Masteron within maybe the last 6 to 8 weeks where all this other stuff comes into play.
All short stuff, Rafael. All short stuff we need to use it in the end. Exactly. No matter it's what. Masteron Propionate, Trembolone Acetate, Stanozolol, it's running in the end of the weeks. 4 weeks in the end, it's enough.
But one thing, again, just a quick question about this trend, because just to be honest, a lot of coaches say online, oh, it's so dangerous, but I've seen a lot of the plants and a lot of the girls are actually using trend, Zimmerman. What would be, without going completely crazy then, how low can we go for an effect? And everything is different, genetic, their body responds different, but how low can we go and see a little bit of effect?
2 milligram per day, which makes it like 14 to 15 milligram per
How much?
week. On a 14 to 15, like 2 milligram a day, Trenacetate is doing like, also a milligram per day, which is 7 milligram per week, does a lot on a female.
7 milligrams a week.
Yes. And if you like, if we're realistic, probably like 15 milligram, because
50.
Nowadays we come from these eras where we used 700 for men. nobody really does it nowadays. I mean, a lot of people do it, but it's not necessary. So when you're thinking of like 500 to 700 from a man, realistically, what is needed for a man is 200, 150 to 200. So then 10 to 15 does a lot in a female body. And also you need really like take care of all your health markers while running this. And this is probably, we all know, not probably, this is the hardest compound out there. And there you get side effects. If you're worried about side effects, there you get the side effects.
Okay.
You know, ironically, that we're talking about side effects and all of the shit, but you need to understand, bodybuilding, it's extreme sport, brother.
Exactly.
It's same like you want to up to Everest.
Exactly.
No matter
but
what
you know
do.
these girls who are like, oh, what can I take? Like 2.5 milligram Anavar stuff, you know? It's just not realistic. They think they really think that's what the pros take, and it's a problem. It's a problem. They think they jump on a 5 milligram Anavar cycle and become the next whatever Miss Olympia.
You know, this is why, Rafael, when I come to my athletes, or no matter somebody I want prepare this lady, or somebody come to me, you know, to be her coach, or no matter what, I explain them everything about the shit, all of the shit. You can lose everything and not get there. You need to understand it, you know. But if you know, it's like try to cook some eggs, you know, but you don't want to broke the egg, you know. No matter what you're doing, you will get side effects.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's up to you in the end. It's up to the athlete. We just tell them what they can do, and they need to decide what to put into their body, because we're not doing anything into their body.
Zimmerman,
I agree.
Hafiz came very late, sadly, so he missed the entire episode almost. But the resume, guys, to make it easy for you, if you want to use PRIMO, you really have to send it in with testing kit. Don't trust your dealer that he says that it's PRIMO. Most 80% of the time, it's not PRIMO. It might probably either test propionate or very underdosed PRIMO. So we would definitely try to maybe get something else if you're not testing it. So be aware. It's very important. Test it. If you're not testing it, the chances are 8 out of 10 you're not using PRIMO. And if you're using test instead, there's a whole different side effects. So maybe go for the healthiest option, EQ, or how it says Mastron propionate. Before we go, Hafiz, we want to know a little bit about Nastenka, because you're going into Spain. Female bodybuilding will be there. Zimmerman will also be there. And you're bringing one of the best athletes, female bodybuilders of all time, Nastenka. Talk to us a little bit. How's her prep going? Because we're excited. What's going on with Nastenka now? 3 weeks out.
3 weeks out, brother. She there. If I talking about the procent, how she looking 95% ready.
Okay.
We have more 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And the most important for me, it was to bring not only quality. You know, if we're talking about the quality, it's all will be there. But again, you remember the time when Andres and Münzer was competing?
Yes.
Nobody was close to his quality. Nobody. No.
But he didn't win. But he didn't win any shows.
Yeah. But he didn't win the shows.
Yeah.
What it mean? It mean not only quality winning the shows.
No.
First of all, your physique, how your muscle looking, how full you are, how posing you are, how you represented yourself. So again, I said, my wife, 95, 93% ready for now. In the day of show, she will be 100%. Again, if we're talking about quality, it's never going to be same like it was, Andres Münzer or somebody else who become no skin. But we know needed it to be, off skin. We need to be the best. And
how much is he weighing?
72 kilograms.
But she's very short. How tall is he?
152 centimeters, brother.
What?
And this, you remember her that when she win the show, she was around 69 kilograms. Now she's 71, 72, brother.
Wow. Yeah. That's with quality. When she wins, let's say she wins Spain, is it hard to keep her looking as good because we will have 2 weeks from Spain to Portugal? How would you manage the look from show to show? Is that hard or is it easy for you?
For us, it was easy, and I will explain you why. We did this when she took overall amateur championship overall world championship, and then we switch up to NPC Liga. It was 2 months between the show, and
Oh, wow.
2 months she became much better and better. You understand? For me, it's same. It's nothing to change. We're just competing. We just continue our diet, and maybe we will cut more, becoming more shredded in the second show.
Okay, so she does have some refeeds during those 2 weeks, or do you keep the calories low?
We continue calories low, we continue training hard, and nothing changes. You know, in the end of the weeks, and this is my strategy, and I talking about, you know, secrets openly always.
Yeah.
You need to be ready 1 week before the show for 100%. When you start to play with water, take water, use water, you know, all of this shit, you can worse your shape. So when you're in the best shape, you see it yourself, your coach see it, you're best in life, just continue what you're doing. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Guys, remember, if you need coaching, you have Instagram to Zimmerman. You have the Instagram to Hafiz. Hafiz, who has a lot of experience with women's bodybuilding. Zimmerman now, a lot of experience with figure and VPD and also women's bodybuilding. But if you guys want to know from the best and that has experience with the bigger ladies, you can reach out to either Hafiz or Zimmerman. And remember, I really hope you guys pay for the stream or even come to Portugal and Spain, because we're going to get Alcione, who's a phenomenal bodybuilder. We have Branca, who is incredible condition, coming back. And we have Martina Lopez, who has some of the strengths as Nastenka, but not as good as Nastenka. But they have some similar. She has very beautiful shape, Martina. And we have Nastenka. It's going to be a real women's bodybuilding. It's not like some of the shows with just one good girl. This is going to be high-level women's bodybuilding. So buy tickets, get the stream. And guys, we'll see you in Spain.
See you there, guys. See you. I want to bring some good words to my brother AJ.
Good.
Bring us and talking good about me and about Rafael. But I want to say, AJ, #1 journalist in this fucking industry.
Thank
This is
you.
it.
And we are out.
100% agree.